This story time is mainly about one of the weirdest discoveries that I found when investigating this cult or coven. Um, I'm not sure which one applies. I use both of those terms loosely. It could be both. I know coven has to deal with the people who do witchcraft, which they definitely do. Cult has to do with, I believe, like a religious organization that follows particular practices that don't go under the umbrella of religious, but if I use them interchangeably, this is the same group of people I encountered. One of the weirdest things that I discovered is the belief system that these people have when it comes to the fuel that they use for their spell work or their magic. So apparently there are bloodlines on Earth, and these are ancient bloodlines, like the first bloodlines to ever walk the planet. And these bloodlines, they have offspring like any other bloodline, and these people believe that these bloodlines have these ancient psychic spiritual gifts. Even if the offspring of these bloodlines don't know if they have these gifts or know how to use them, these people found occult ways to siphon the energy that they believe fuels these gifts, and then they use that to make their spells and their magic more potent. So, from what I gather, they have already identified the bloodlines, and it's deeper than this city. It's more on that secret society gatekeep the knowledge level. I'm not going to mention any secret societies because I know, like any organization, there's quote unquote good apples and bad apples, but it's on that level where some or most of these people may be connected to secret societies which have this ancient knowledge about these beings. So these bloodlines, they've already been identified. So these cults or these covens, they watch the offspring from these bloodlines, and they get readings, like psychic readings, tarot readings, things like that, or they just watch the child for any indication of these psychic gifts. So when they get these readings, if it's a child and the reader picks up that the child has psychic gifts or is abundant or wealthy, or if it's a gift that these people can exploit. For instance, I came to find out that my reading would show me as abundant, as wealthy, as um, being a powerful psychic, being a healer, being a magician, being a manifester. These are things that I had no idea about. Like I said, the person doesn't even have to be aware of any potential spiritual gifts they have for these people to exploit them. So, most of the abuse I suffered was due to the belief that they could create traumatic bonds with me, and that would keep this invisible energetic cord between me and the abuser so that they can siphon off my energy, and that was supposed to fuel or make their spell work, their magic more potent. For instance, if I was in a situation where I had a friend, and I do this is loosely. I don't actually have any friends, but if I was in a situation where I had a friend, and then the friend slept with somebody I care about, that would create a traumatic bond where I would constantly be thinking about this friend and the person that they slept with in a negative manner, and keeping that wound open would allow the friend and the person that they slept with to somehow exploit that, because I would stay connected to them due to not working through that trauma. These are their beliefs. They also harvest or siphon energy through sexual rituals. So, for instance, if I had sex with a man, I'm heterosexual. Not that I'm against any other sexualities, but I'm heterosexual. If I had sex with a man, the belief is that I would be sharing my energy with that man. That man could then turn around and sleep with any woman after me, and they would be able to do a ritual where they could share my energy. So these are some of the things that I encountered. The most horrific part about that is these people don't wait until children are of age. I don't have any stories to tell about when I was a child, but what I mean is if these people get readings on a child, let's say an infant, they don't wait to harvest this energy. So a baby, let's say, you can't create emotional traumatic bonds. The only way that you would be able to siphon or harvest that energy would be through sexual acts. I believe that these people, when they identify a child that has these psychic spiritual gifts, they immediately start sharing the child in this way. Like, in the sense that they may take money to let people touch the child. At some point, the boys, if they identify the boys to have powerful spiritual gifts, then they groom the boys and, let's say, have them having sex at 11 and 12 with grown women. Like, I've ran into information where boys, like, their mom would bring her friends to have sex with her prepubescent or adolescent son, and they groomed him to make him think that this was okay, or like it was something he wanted. And in some cases, the mothers even sleep with the sons. It's the same for the daughters. I don't speak specifics on little girls, because people tend to have a weaker stomach when it comes to those things with little girls, because of the fact that it seems to be culturally accepted for 11 or 12-year-old boys to be participating in sexual activity at that age. But It's the same for little girls, and that's their biggest secret, that they identify children as young as babies because they've already identified the bloodlines that have the most potent or the strongest psychic spiritual gifts. So if they get a read on a baby, on a child, they can't create trauma bonds with a child, with a baby. They immediately start trafficking that child out. And these are parents doing this. Immediately start trafficking that child out. The men, I ran into a man, and this man has powerful psychic gifts. So he purposely gets people pregnant so that he can create these offspring and ends up trafficking his own children that come up like this. That's my story. Good day and God bless.